Hey, MenoLoungers, happy Galentine's Day. So glad to be with you today. Like, it's my favorite day. You know, we're all about love. Let's just talk about it for us. Self-love. I've got my sparkly red bracelet on today. We have the most amazing guest. She is a dear friend of mine and just so perfect for today. Hi, Sophia. I'm going to bring her up. Hi, Jenny. Happy Galentine's Day to everybody. Let me find her 1 second. We have been actually, even practicing. We wanted to make sure it's perfect and wonderful. Okay. Got that invite. Oh, such a beautiful day. I hope you're having plans with your loved ones, with your friends, all the Galentines, so you can just share the love. There she is. I knew you were coming. Hi, Stella.
Hey,
Gorgeous,
Julie. How are
gorgeous,
you?
gorgeous. I know Stella's like, let's practice. I'm like, let's go, Stella. We got this. We are going to have a chat. Oh, it's been a crazy morning, Stella, so thanks for rolling with it. You never know how things are in Bolivar land. So you look stunning as always. Everyone, please welcome Stella Carakasi to MenoLounge Talks. Stella is a dear friend. I'm going to talk about the incredible designer that you are. But we have known each other. We have shared a lot. We've grown our businesses together. But I'm wearing one of her most amazing, iconic pieces. Stella, you know this is my favorite jacket, although I have a few Stella jackets. But
Thank you.
Stella has been a designer for several decades. She is an icon in her industry. Her roots are Greek. She's a badass woman, mother, midlife boss. And we were talking about all things midlife, and Stella is very passionate about all women feeling beautiful in their bodies, and she designs for that. So we could not have a better guest on with us today. So Stella, welcome to the MenoLounge.
Wow, Julie, thank you for the amazing introduction. I think you have talked me up.
No,
I'm
not even enough.
really happy to be here today. I'm looking forward to the fun conversation we are going to have.
Yeah.
And most important, happy Valentine's Day
Yes.
to everybody that's actually on this Instagram Live with us today.
Absolutely.
So let's get it
Whatever
wrapped
that
up.
means,
Yeah,
right? With a
yeah,
partner, self-love. We always need to start with self-love
that's right.
first. So, and then of course your gals. Here we go. Let's see. Sophia said already, yay, my daughter is also a Stella, and we are GR English. I'm not sure what that is. Tell me what that is, Sophia. She's writing in the comments here. So, all right, Stella Carakasi, let me ask you right out of the gate.
Sure.
Midlife women, are we being ignored in fashion? What the heck is going on?
Oh my God, Julie, there is so much, right, that I can talk about. If I look back, I've been in this industry now for 3 decades. And what has become really apparent to me as I personally, as a woman, have progressed through my life, but also having been in the garment industry, it's so apparent that women, I would say 45 and older, are systemically discriminated against. Our fashion industry is so focused on the young. And I feel now that we are in the age of equality, diversity, and inclusion, well, we kind of need to open up the conversation about aging as well.
Right.
Because the way I see it, and I can only speak for myself and actually speak for the hundreds of women that I've personally spoken to over the span of my career, probably thousands like
I'm
you,
sure
Julie,
thousands,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
It became so apparent that they feel overlooked and unseen. And not only in terms of representation in the fashion media, but also in terms of how clothing fits. Whether we like it or not, some of us remain in incredible shape, but I can tell you that what happens to the majority of us women as we progress through life, our bodies change, our
Right.
proportions change,
Mm-hmm.
whether that happens just as a natural progression, getting older, for the ones that actually become mothers, through giving birth to our children, like it or not, our bodies quite often don't bounce back the way they were once before. And then, oh my God, enter menopause. And then the big double whammy happens. All of a sudden, we have a muffin top. You know, our proportions are different. Our arms get bigger. Our hips all of a sudden are wider. Our thighs, you name it. And then I approach it from a design perspective. And I'm thinking to myself, well, who designs contemporary clothing for women our age, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Quite often what happens, the message that's being given to us is we have a shelf life. We have an expiration date, and it makes me angry on multiple levels. And that also applies to fashion.
Right.
And the way I can best explain it is not your daughter's jeans. And I'm sure that a lot of you ladies out there are very familiar with this brand. Well, they got smart early on, and they figured just because women are naturally progressing through life and eventually we hit our 40s, 50s, 60s and older, well, a lot of us still want to look viable and contemporary, and we still have a lot to offer. As a matter of fact, we have a lot more to offer than when we were in our 20s and early 30s.
We didn't know anything, right?
And
Exactly.
now we're being told, oh, you need to also dress accordingly. And what's available for us are often clothing that doesn't quite fit right. Well, what Not Your Daughter's Jeans figured out early was, oh, well, that woman doesn't fit in the jeans of her 20s, but we will still design the right patterns for the right proportions, and she still looks hot and happening in the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Without the little skinny, having the rise so low that our midlife is just popping over the top. Like, that's not okay. They got it. They understood. Yeah, yeah.
And
but that doesn't mean you have to wear things that are matronly either, right?
My God.
So,
and I think the problem really is the actual pattern making, right? And without going into this long diatribe, most brands design for sizes 0 to 12, and most likely they will use a slim hourglass figure to base their patterns on before they grade.
Right.
Plus size does the same. They use the full hourglass figure. Well, I got news for you. You know, as much as I hate using terminologies like, oh, she's a rectangle, she's a triangle, she's an inverted triangle, all these terminologies, how we really categorize women, but for a lack of explaining it better. Well, what happens to all the other shapes, right? And who designs for them? And then fashion gets really smart and says, well, we are going to use oversimplified, often dowdy looking shapes to accommodate for the rest of that female population.
Rude.
And it's like, wait a minute here. It really starts with the design up front of putting your thinking cap on as a creative person, as a business person, and then decide, if I put this design into the world, right, will it accommodate various body shapes? And are they going to look beautiful and flattering in it? And while not everything applies to every body shape, but you need to approach it by saying, with this design, I fulfill my mission to cover these body shapes. And with the other design, all these women will have something to put on that makes them look beautiful, because you know, if a woman feels beautiful, she feels empowered, and that is what it's all about. You know, we all get dressed in the morning. Some do it consciously, others do it unconsciously. We have our go-to uniform. And I think also what happens as women, you know, go through life, the ones that have children focus on their kids. We focus on our careers. We put ourselves on the back burner. The look that we once loved when we were in our 20s, we were hot, cute, and happening. All of a sudden we find ourselves, oh my God, I've aged, I've raised a family, I have accomplished so many things in my life, but now maybe it's time to put myself back to the front. And all of a sudden we also have lost our ways, right? Quite often I know that women that are in their midlife have to reinvent who they are. their look,
Absolutely. I mean,
their
that's part of
mindset,
our
everything.
mission with Boss of
That's
Ours,
right.
right? Boss of Ours is the empowerment aspect of it.
Yeah,
That's part of what I
right.
love about menopause, though,
Yeah,
Stella, is that the body, whether it's from a fashion perspective, nutrition, it forces us to reconnect with it. You know, you can't just ignore it the way we've ignored our bodies for 30 years in the middle, raising kids, taking care of everyone else. It's like, hello, if you don't listen to me, I'm going to make some noise over here. I'm going to get a muffin. I'm not going to be able to fit in my pants. I don't feel good, so that's how they run to Stella to go get something that makes them feel amazing.
yeah,
But yeah, that's the beauty of menopause and midlife. But what you're saying is so important, and it's so interesting that it goes all the way back to pattern makers.
it
It's
does.
almost like the bias starts there.
It does. And
So,
Julie, it's so interesting. I was recently invited back to my fashion school, and they have really remodeled the whole department. And then as I walk through the gallery of dress forms, right, it's all
mhm.
hourglass. Whether it's a full
Wow.
hourglass or a slender hourglass, it's all
Yeah,
hourglass.
yeah,
And it
yeah. Amazing.
really, it kind of reinforced what I already knew.
Yes.
And I really think it is time for us to change the narrative, right? And I find it so sad because so many women have given up on fashion. And it comes from them
Mhm.
being frustrated of not finding enough variety of clothing that actually makes them feel good in their skin.
Right.
And the other part
Not
that I
okay.
also encounter is women quite often are insecure still how to dress.
Mm.
There's plenty of
It's
women
because
that,
they don't have we don't have choices. When you go and try on clothes, they don't fit the
they,
same. Even though it
no,
might be the same size that you were wearing before, it doesn't necessarily fit the
that's
same. And
right.
if you don't have a strong sense of self, you can really feel bad. Like, why doesn't this not look good? And it
Right.
used to look good. It's so
That's
confusing.
right.
So, by the way, Sophia says yes, 100%. And Geraldine said, I love Stella Carakasi. So I just
Oh,
want to pass that on.
thank you so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
much. Well,
So
you
yeah,
know,
it's really
it
frustrating. So I'm
is.
with you.
And
Hmm.
Julie, I think, our missions are so incredibly well aligned. And that's why I'm so looking forward to collaborate with you and with a lot more women out there that are actually on the same bandwagon, if you will.
Yeah.
I think that the whole conversation about anti-aging is futile. And I'm going to tell you why. We're all going to age, and you are actually taking on something that you're not going to win against. But I think being anti-ageist, that's what's important.
That is
Because,
so okay. Wait,
boy,
wait, wait. Let's just drop a pin in that, Stella. We Anti-aging, it's so we're just swimming up the wrong stream on that anyway. I mean, it's
waste
it's a
of
blessing to
energy.
get it's a blessing to age, right?
Yes,
So
it's a
yes,
privilege.
I love what you're saying. Energy, right?
Yeah,
We're using up this energy in a
yeah,
way that does not support us.
no.
But anti-ageist,
Ageist.
ding. I hope everybody writes that down today. That's a repeatable right there, Stella. Keep
And I,
going on that.
and I
Yeah.
think that collectively, we need to come together because according to some statistics that I'm really familiar with, women over the age of 45 are currently the largest growing demographic in the United States.
Right.
There's 82 million of us. And it makes me angry that the fashion industry just really, it's so discriminating. They ignore us, and we are the biggest voices out there. To take it further, guess what? We also happen to have the largest disposable income. So we are the ones that you should be targeting us, with your messaging. And yes, the old status quo continues. And I think we need to rise up to that and actually make a louder voice, collectively say, we matter, we are here, and I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
We have gone through life. We have so much to offer in terms of experience, in terms of wisdom, and it's even proven that women around 60 are ultimately coming into their own. They are by far the most powerful, right?
Right.
And yet they are the ones that are being totally ignored. And I think we need to flip the script.
Yeah.
And I'm basically here taking a stance for that, not because I am that woman, but I know from, oh my God, the voices that I've heard and that I continue to hear, and the women that I actually designed for, need an outlet. You do that with your incredible nutritious bars, and I do it from a fashion perspective. And I think there is a lot of women out there that bring their genius to the table. And if we can collaborate and make a collective stance, that's how we're going to flip the script and actually make a change, create the world that we want to live in, and we want to be seen and be valued.
This is why I love you, Stella. I mean, not only are you an incredible designer, you're so inclusive. You have been from day one. And quite frankly, you were a thin woman. So, you didn't even have to pay attention to women that weren't already the typical body type. But you have always cared. You have always considered all women's body types and designed for that. So, but beyond that, you're just such a badass. That's why I love you too.
Thank you, Julie, for saying that. I super appreciate that. But I'm going to tell you a story right now, right? Okay. I do get that quite a bit. What's your problem? You're thin while I'm through menopause, and believe me, I got the muffin top. But that's not the point. The point is, I have several friends that have fuller figures, and we can't shop together. And I'm going to tell you that really, really hit home for me. Those girls are being told, oh, you can't really shop the hip brands because we only offer sizes 0 to 12. And if we have a limited plus size selection, you can pick from there, or go to that corner of shame,
or go way over there. Yeah. Oh, and can I shout out for the petites? Why do I have to go to really far away too, just because I'm 5'1"? That's not fair.
Thank you. So my point in saying that is, why can't we create brands, and instead of separating plus size from regular sizes, offer it in a size continuum? That's what I'm doing. Yeah. The average American woman is a size 16, for crying out loud. It's 68% of the female population.
Right.
She should not have to shop plus size. She should be able to go to all the cool brands and say, I'm going to buy this, this, and this, and I'm going to look fabulous in it.
Right.
And that's what we need to change. We need to be mindful with our pattern making. We need to be mindful to be size inclusive. And I know that the fashion industry right now is really not as a whole, selectively. We're seeing different body shapes, which is great. Right. We're seeing different ethnicities, which is wonderful. But I think the topic of aging is still swept under the rug. There is a little bit like Iris Apfel, great. I mean, she is the ultimate, right? But she's also iconic in a different category. Whatever happens to the rest of us? The women that don't fit the fashion status quo, and there's many of us out there, whatever happens to them? Can we bring them to the fashion conversation? They deserve to be seen. And I can tell you what I've witnessed, and that is really the intent of what I do. It is so powerful. When I'm dealing with a woman that has kind of given up, and there's plenty of them out there, believe me, and they finally turn off the self-defeating crazy talk. We all have it. I'm too short, I'm too big, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too old. Whatever it might be. Women are notorious with this negative self-talk. When we turn that off for just a little bit and try something new, dare to experiment, right? And you put this on and you recognize yourself for either the first time or for a long time it hasn't happened. You recognize yourself in the mirror, and for a short fraction of a second, you say to yourself, wow, this actually works and it looks good on me. I can guarantee you that that woman shows up different in her world. It's that energetic shift. It's that self-acceptance, the self-love of staying in your power and saying, I'm going to take on the world today. And she does. And that's what it's about. I mean,
I've witnessed it, Stella. I've been in your stores. We live in the same area, and you can, by the way, we'll tell you, we've got a great promo code for you that is not always available. So you can buy Stella online and visit her. She has an outlet too, but I've been in your store and watched women try on your clothes and come out and literally see a transformation of how they feel about themselves. You have this incredible, it's such a, it's a metaphor, but you have this tunic top that is your iconic top. It's got a super powerful collar. It has this beautiful shape that honors a woman's body, you know, around the chest to mid waist, and then it sort of flares out to cover up any, you know, or if you want to kind of cover the hip area or be more comfortable or however you want to wear it. But I've literally watched that top transform a woman's confidence like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems, you know, it seems like really clothes, but yes, clothes as women, that's something that's important to us. And your designs are so thoughtfully created to advocate for women's empowerment through your clothes. So I kind of just wanted to talk about that tunic top because of how, you know, your thoughts behind that design and how it's become really a signature Stella piece.
It's the Tiburon tunic that you're talking about,
Okay.
right? It is definitely one of my best sellers. And when I designed this top, one might say, oh, it's just a loose fitting top. What's so special about it? My clothing, I incorporate a lot of architectural details into my clothing. And it's not over the top where you don't recognize it anymore. There's crazy fashion out there. It's still very understandable. And the intention behind the top really was designing for a lot of the women that have complained to me about, oh, I need to cover my hip, I have a muffin top, and I have a larger chest. I don't want to show my arms. And I was very intentional about taking all of that into consideration for that particular customer. It's not for everybody, but for that particular customer, and trust me, there's many of them out there, where I decided I will create a beautiful tunic that focuses on your face and your neck. It covers your upper arm. It's loose around the midriff and around the hip, but it still has enough of architectural shape to it. And it's a dual combination fabric. It's a nice, crisp, very special poplin that is a fabric that I designed, actually. It's a proprietary fabric. And then I add a beautiful, loose, drapey modal jersey in the back. While it adds a lot of fullness, it ultimately drapes and creates somewhat of a slimming silhouette. So you got the movement, you got the fullness that you need, but it's not adding this enormous volume.
Right.
And I think part of it, why it has become so popular, is because intention went into designing this particular top, right?
Yes.
And the other thing is, not everything that I do is for everybody. But my intention is to design enough variety where I know that I fulfill the needs of a lot of different body shapes. There will always be something there. And the most important thing, oh my God, the most important thing for me is, you know the saying, dress to impress? Mm-hmm. Ladies, I hope we have given this up a long time ago, because I like to flip the narrative and say, dress to express.
Oh.
Right?
I love it.
Like, who
absolutely. Who are, especially in midlife, in the stages of menopause, who are we? Who did I used to be? Who, you know, and who, what of her do I want to carry forward? And what of her am I ready to leave behind? I don't need her anymore. I don't need that little girl. You know, I'm great. I'm a badass. I love myself.
That's right.
I'm confident, even with a little bit of extra here and there. And I put on this Stella Tiburon tunic, and damn, I got this. You know. So,
and really, it leads me to this other point, right? Don't give up comfort for style.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't like to be squeezed anymore, Stella. No squeezing.
And, you know, even up to this day, fashion treats style and comfort separately. Or, you know, the trend right now, and it's a valid trend, athleisure, by all means. You know, we all have our athleisure goods. But I can also guarantee you that a lot of women don't want to look as if they just stepped out of their imaginary gym. We still want to look dressed up, right? So, and there is a way of doing that. But the days where we compromised and we had so much to prove, stylish, we want to express who we are, but we don't give up comfort anymore. And because we don't have to, we own it.
We own it. Someone said we run the world. Sophia's got some great comments in here. She said, I just randomly jumped on this live, and I love you guys. So thanks for being here,
Oh,
Sophia. And she
thank you.
said maybe just adjust sizing to normal people and not prototypes. And totally it's focusing on the being choices and mindset and how we show up on our skin. Sophia, that's exactly how Stella and I feel. So
Right.
you totally nailed it. Really
Right.
good. Somebody said, are you in the UK these days?
No, I'm not. I used to be, and hopefully I'll get back in there.
Yeah, I know you're worldwide. You're known all around the world. Stella, we have to have a quick conversation about fast fashion because I know your pieces are all quality based. They last for a very long time.
Right.
I probably had this jacket probably for 5 years, 6 years or something. It's timeless, always fashionable. But what about fast fashion? And it just, I'll just let you talk about that. What are you going to say?
Fast fashion is here to stay. And fast fashion definitely has devalued the art of clothing.
Mm.
It's a reality. But I honestly think that, and I'm not judging anybody that purchases fast fashion. There is a place for that, right? They make it appealing, they make it cheap, but I don't want to be part of that world. I kind of started getting lost a little bit in it when I was still doing wholesale because everybody was demanding faster, bigger, cheaper, and I lost my connection with my values. And I feel that if I don't stand behind my values, who I am as a woman, who I am as an entrepreneur, and who I am as an artist, if you will, then I'd rather not do what I'm setting out to accomplish in life. I think that there is enough women out there that are very quality oriented. I believe that less is more when less is better. I think that we don't have to own a lot of clothing in order to create a variety of looks. If we own the right pieces, we can build on it. It's kind of like having a solid foundation of a house. The foundation is solid, you can build on top of it. And that's how I approach design. And if you really think about it, 80% of what you have in your closet, you most likely are not going to wear on a daily basis.
We go to the same 20, I mean, the 80-20 rule applies to everything, including our closet, right? We go to the same pieces over and over. So why not make them quality and something that makes you feel good, look good, all that.
And that's exactly what I'm setting out to do because I work with sustainable, eco-friendly fabrics. I don't lead with that. It's part of my DNA. What I really lead with is I'm focusing on the women 45 plus. And that's really, and I start that with pattern making. I start that with our marketing efforts at the moment, and you will see a lot more of it as I scale. This is really who I am and what I'm bringing into this world. And it has resonated with a lot of women. You know, I'm not here to demonize anybody. Everybody can do whatever they want, but this is not what I believe in because fast fashion also contributes, you know, if you think about it, to the environmental burden. And I don't want to be part of that. You know, I'd rather produce in small batches and do it more often and know that whatever I produce is not only being sold, but it is being loved. And that really matters. It has value. It's kind of like, imagine you buy an authentic piece of art. And I don't want to necessarily put myself up on a pedestal as if I'm a fine artist, right? Because patterns,
pretty close, Stella.
Well,
pretty
if you
close.
think about it, fast fashion patterns that get spit out electronically by AI. There is no human eye perfecting the proportions. It's fast. It's throwaway clothing, right? I don't want to do that. I think there's an artistry that goes into that. It's an intention that goes into that. It has a different feel. You can buy a piece of artwork from an artist that has applied thought to what they're creating, or you can buy some random print reproduction. They both are decorative, but it has a different feel, right?
Completely different feel. I mean, I'll confess, I'm not mad at a $5
I'm
t-shirt, you know,
not
but
either.
I want to put it under a Stella jacket or something like that, you know, sometimes because you just want
That's fine.
something, you know, little trendy, little pop thing
Totally.
here or there. But in midlife, especially, we deserve quality
We
pieces.
do.
Deserve to invest in ourselves, whether that's clothing or eating better,
All
food
of
choices,
it.
A to
Yeah,
Z. You know, we worked hard to get here. We
that's right.
deserve the best. And I think as women, we often, for lack of a better term, cheap out on ourselves. You know, we just, but that's what we did to get to where we are, especially
That's
if we
right.
raise kids. We always, you know, fed everybody first, you eat last.
All of it.
You know, you shop for your kids first, you buy the
All of it.
bulk food, that kind of thing. In midlife, after those people are up and out or close to, no
Those
way.
people.
Quality, those people. Oh, you mean my 3 children? Love you guys. You know, it's all about quality, and it's making sure that we're putting the best foods in our body. We're buying the best clothes, and that doesn't always mean buying all the things. It's about a few things. Yeah, look, here we are. Martha, her best years says we deserve to live our best years.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's
And
right.
often that's quality. And then Tangled Silver Magazine says, agreed on art of clothing not being what it used to be. So that's why I wanted to have Stella with us today, because Stella is, you know, we're so aligned in midlife women's empowerment, and creating things for women that we deserve, with, you know, being thoughtfully curated, thoughtfully developed, thoughtfully shared, because we deserve it
That's
as
right.
midlife women. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Amen to
and
that.
all the good things. Okay, Stella, as we're kind of pulling it together here, I have to ask you, what does menopause like a boss mean to you? How's that?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. While you're in it, it's tough. I don't even have to tick on all the boxes that we are experiencing, right? But approach it. It's not going to last forever. You will come out on the other end. And frankly, I don't miss having my periods, all right? That pesky monthly occurrence. And here's another script that I would like to flip. Women all of a sudden panic because they feel they are lesser women now that they are out of their reproductive years, right?
Well,
There's the mindset.
society tells us
Right,
that, that's for sure.
right. And I think we need to flip this script, because
For sure.
there is plenty of women that have chosen, or unwillingly had to choose, to not physically reproduce. And they are powerful, they are successful, they're incredible. So childbearing years don't define our value and our worth. Coming out on the other end of this horrific experience, right?
Not for everyone, but yes,
Empowers
can
us,
be.
if you think
Yes.
about it. Been
Mm-hmm.
there, done that, here I am, and I have so much to offer
Right.
to you, right?
Right. Yes.
I think the
Yes,
most
Stella.
important thing that I did during menopause, and I kind of did it quietly because I was too busy working, to be honest, Julie.
I was going to say, did you
Oh,
even notice,
are you
Stella? You're such a,
kidding
you
me?
know,
I had the 4 o'clock
you're on it. So,
afternoon sweat where I felt like I just exited a sauna. And
yeah.
then I was dripping, at 2 o'clock in the morning, just needing to change my clothes. I think the most important thing for me was drink a lot of water, because hot flashes and sweating, they take a lot out of you,
Mm-hmm.
right? During that time, I think it's important. In general, it's important, but more so during menopause. Eat well, hydrate, exercise, keep moving.
Keep moving.
We experience brain fog. Like, trust me, I had so many moments where I so intentionally got up to go somewhere, and midway I'm like, what on earth was
Like,
I about to do?
like if I stand here long enough, maybe it'll
Right.
come back, right?
And then I thought to myself, oh my God, is this the onset of dementia? Am I there yet? But I think
No.
you can combat
Yeah.
that. Taking B vitamins really helped me.
Mm.
And I'm not a nutritionist expert, but my doctor recommended, make sure that your body has plenty of B vitamins. And I noticed that it really did help.
Mm-hmm.
And the most important thing is be kind to yourself, and just announce to the world, I might be grouchy, I might be bitchy, for all the reasons, this is what I'm going through, and it's not meant personally.
Right.
just make it known, at least in your trusted, immediate environment. And then it can become a joke, right? Oh, she's just menopausal. Not that I want to dismiss that, but you can make it into a lighter conversation than it needs to be.
I love it. I think about our bars as a talking stick for that conversation.
Totally.
So, when women are eating the bars and sharing the bars, it opens up a conversation, because I think community is a really big part of transitioning through the hard time when we can do it together. Dr. Alexa Rosa says you have so much more energy available to be put to better use in your body with menopause.
That's right.
And that those are more so neurological side effects of menopause. It's the neuroendocrine connection.
Yep.
Glad I didn't mess that up, Dr. Rosa. Ooh. So Stella,
yeah.
You're such a badass. You're beautiful, creative designer. You're such a strong woman. You have always been such an advocate of all women, body shapes, age, not just for, the typical thin, slender body, even though that's your type. You cared about other people from day one, other women. So I'm so, honored to have you, love you, all the good things. And I bet many of our viewers today would love a little promo code so they can try that Tiburon tunic and all the other fun things that you have going on there. So do you have a special code for everybody today, Stella?
Yes, Julie. Well, first of all, before I go to the promo code, I want to say it takes one to know one, right? Because speaking of badass, look at yourself, for crying out loud, right? I'm just honored to be here with you today. I love you. Your own career is just amazing, and how you have transitioned and what you're currently building. So collaborating here today is really incredible. Not only do I have a promo code, which is BOSSA15 for all regular price merchandising on my website, but to my customers, we are also offering the Stella 20 code for everybody that is interested in actually trying Julie's incredible, tasty Bossa bars. If you go onto her website, and you type in Stella 20, you will be able to receive a 20% discount. And if you go onto my website, you can type in BOSSA15 and you'll be receiving a 15% off regular price merchandise. So that's what we are doing for each other. And that offer is going to be valid until the end of the month for both of us. So I'm looking forward.
Let's do it. Let's get your fabulous outfit, feel good, eat your bars, feel good, put it all together, and we've just got Midlife covered, Stella, between the two of us. I'm just saying.
I think we did.
I love it. There's been so many great comments today. So glad you're all here. Share the goodness about Stella Carakasi. So they should go to StellaCarakasi.com, and that's Carakasi with a C-A-R-A-K-A-S-I. Think. My brain fog. Stella Carakasi. Stella, you are a joy. I hope you can come on again. I know you're going to have new lines, new pieces that you might want to share. We're going to be doing more collabs with Stella, because I just know, as I said, I've watched women go into the dressing room with a big armful of clothes and come out like, I feel amazing. And clothes do matter. We wear clothes. We are a clothed society. And so when you feel good, then, when you look good, you feel good. When you eat well, you feel good. So let's put it all together. Do the good things. So follow Stella Carakasi on Instagram. Go get something that you love for yourself. It's Galentine's Day. Go buy something for yourself on StellaCarakasi.com. Stella, love you.
Love you too.
I'm going to see you soon, okay? To be continued. Thanks, everybody. Menopause like a boss on Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's
Take care.
Day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.